Absolutely. Okay, I am going to continue with updates and user emails. I really did not want to, excuse me, have to post this again, but as the posting goes, we did have a user that lost some crypto. And my feeling right now, it wasn't necessary. It's because someone decided not to use the advanced technologies that we have to keep things safe. And I just have to say it again because I know I've said it a bunch of times. If you're not using a hardware wallet, you're crazy and you're not serious about crypto. And let's all get really serious about crypto and keeping things safe. And let's not live in the past. Let's live in the present and use the tools of the present instead of believing what we used to know back in the past. So remember this, it says not recommended. And even when you go to, and I don't mean to, belittle or, tell the person, oh, look what you did. It was so wrong. It is an example that I can share with other people so that someone may not make that same mistake. But if you go to my Ether wallet, it has all of these types of, ways to hold your crypto. And way at the bottom, it says not recommended. And that's keystore, mnemonic phrase, and private keys. It is not recommended. I did have a little bit of interaction after I told the person there's really nothing you can do. But it's you got to keep up to date and don't use something that says not recommended. The little that I did get from the person, they said that they had the keystore file, which is a JSON file, and they couldn't find it on their computer. And so they restored it via the mnemonic phrase. And what that tells me is that their computer was compromised, probably still is. I wouldn't use that thing. I wouldn't even reformat it and use it again unless it's brand new, because you don't know what has been installed on your computer. So, you got to be careful out there. And if it says not recommended, don't use it. I wouldn't use it, and I hope you wouldn't either. So we're going to scams, hacks, and breaches news. Crypto wallet drainer. Kind of similar. Crypto wallet drainer was on Google Play for months and stole $70,000. The report. IT security firm Checkpoint Research has uncovered a crypto wallet drainer on the Google Play Store that used advanced evasion techniques to steal more than $70,000 in 5 months. The malicious app disguised itself as WalletConnect Protocol, a well-known app on the crypto space that can link a variety of crypto wallets to decentralized finance applications. The security company said on September 26 blog post that it marked the first time drainers exclusively targeted mobile users. It added fake reviews and consistent branding helped the app achieve over 10,000 downloads by ranking high in search engine results. So that's one of the key things that I say is like, okay, when was it published? How many reviews? How many downloads? This is scary because they got 10,000 downloads, which in my book would have been like, oh, okay, well, there's plenty of people that are using it and this one would be safe, but it's not. So you got to be, heightened awareness that there's scammers out there. We're moving on to crypto news. This one I think was underreported, underplayed. I really haven't seen or heard much of it besides this article, but BlackRock highlights Bitcoin's unique properties as approved IBIT options could cement risk-off status. And if you don't know what risk off is, we're going to go into that in a little bit. Bitcoin is up 22% since the yen carry trade unwound on August 5th, while gold and S&P are up only around 11%. Over 65% of the circulating Bitcoin supply has remained unmoved for over a year. Almost all holders are in profit if they held their crypto for Bitcoin for 3 years, while they are all in profit if they held it for at least 5 years. And that comes from Unchained. And you're asking yourself, well, what is risk on, risk off? I hear it all the time. Let's go over that. Risk on and risk off are terms used in financial markets to describe investor sentiment and their willingness to take on risk. Risk on refers to a market environment where investors are more willing to take risks. This scenario, they tend to invest in higher risk assets like stocks, cryptocurrencies, emerging market bonds, and commodities. The sentiment behind risk on is generally positive, often driven by optimism about economic growth, low interest rates, or positive geopolitical news, which we don't have some good geopolitical news right now. During risk on periods, prices of riskier assets tend to rise. Whereas risk off is the opposite scenario, where investors are more risk averse. They move capital to safer assets such as government bonds, especially U.S. Treasury bonds, gold, or other traditional safe haven investments. Risk off periods usually occur when there is unnecessary or fear about economic conditions, global instability, or financial market volatility. In these times, riskier assets may decline in value as demand for safe assets increase. So I would never, well, never is never, but now that they're talking about Bitcoin being a risk off status, and this is BlackRock who's taking over the financial universe, I think that's big news, and it's good for Bitcoin. So Zilliqa blockchain malfunctions again, permanent fix underway. So if you own Zilliqa, you may have experienced this, but a critical system bugs negatively impacted the Zilliqa mainnet's block production on September 27th and 29th, forcing the blockchain network to halt transactions temporarily while the issue was fixed. On September 29th, Zilliqa proactively reported a system bug that suddenly disabled the network from creating new blocks. At this time, several crypto investors reported difficulty accessing their funds via ZilPay, a browser wallet for Zilliqa blockchain. So just know they had two big hiccups in a row. And if you were part of that, I guess they've got it back, and hopefully they have a permanent fix put in place. Crypto exchange Gemini to close all customer accounts in Canada. Sorry to the great white north of us. The Winklevoss founder crypto exchange Gemini is set to close all customer accounts in Canada by the end of 2024. In a September 30th email sent out to Canadian users of the exchange, Gemini said it would close all accounts in Canada starting on December 31st and told users they have 90 days to withdraw assets from the platform. Effective December 31st, 2024, Gemini will close all customer accounts in Canada with limited exceptions. As a result, we will be closing your Gemini account, the exchange wrote in an email. And they're doing this because the Canadian government did something brilliant, which made exchanges want to leave Canada. So sorry, Canada. Technology news. We're going to jump over, and just to let you know, it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. That is October. So be aware of your cybersecurity, and CISA will help you maybe, but we'll see. So I don't know how many of you were part of this. Half of my family was, but Verizon outage, iPhones, Androids, devices stuck in SOS mode. A widespread Verizon outage is causing iPhones and Android devices to enter SOS mode, preventing them from making mobile calls unless they use Wi-Fi calling. That's not necessarily true. My husband we have the same service. He has an older phone, I think a 13 or 14, and I have the latest 16. I had no problems. He had all sorts of problems, and I let him use my work phone, which is not on Verizon. It's under, well, I guess it's now officially T-Mobile. But so they did not have that issue. And so it's got to be some type of software issue, but we'll see. They really haven't said anything. The Verizon wireless outage started at approximately 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, with the outage tracking site's downloader detector reported approximately 100,000 users impacted the issue. So, this is a big issue. And if you were stuck someplace and you were in an emergency situation, well, let's go over what the difference between SOS mode is and satellite, because there is a difference. I read some articles and they're like, well, because you're connected to satellite, you can make a phone call. I'm like, well, actually, neither of those are true. And so what SOS means, or if you see SOS or SOS only, in the status bar, your device isn't connected to your cellular network, but you can still make emergency calls through other carrier networks. This feature is available in Australia, Canada, and the United States. So you can piggyback onto AT&T or T-Mobile for emergency calls, which is good because if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and Verizon's down, at least you had a way to make a 911 call, as compared to what is the satellite? Well, the satellite is a little bit different. You cannot make a phone call when you're connected to satellite, but you can use emergency SOS via satellite connects you to emergency responders. So that would be like a 911 call. Roadside assistance via satellite connects you to roadside assistance provider. And messages via satellite let you message friends and family right from the Messages app. So you can't use things like Signal and WhatsApp, but you'd have to use the regular text messaging to send out a message via satellite if you have a clear signal to friends and family to let them know what's going on. And send location via satellite lets you update your location. So you could say, well, I don't know where I am because I was just driving and it's dark. You could send that information to a first responder to hopefully help you along the way to get some help. So and this is kind of funny, and so now I'm thinking, well, we had a big major outage of telecommunication, and now we have Bank of America customers see zero balances amid nationwide outage. What's going on here? I know we have some hot wars going on in the Middle East and many other places. And I know that we have cyber wars that have been continuously going on for quite a while now. And is this part of a cyber war? I don't know. That's pure just thinking about things and why do we have some major outages of two big infrastructures. But thousands of Bank of America customers reported a network outage that prevented them from accessing their bank accounts or displayed a zero balance. Reports of service began about 4:26 p.m. UTC on October 2nd and peaked an hour later with almost 18,000 Bank of America customers reporting the issue within 15-minute intervals, according to the data from real-time network outage platform Download Detector. Just know that if it's 18,000 at Download Detector, I'm guessing it's probably 10 times that, because how many people really go to Download Detector and report it? I do, because this is what I check if I have a problem using a service, but I think the majority of people will just think, what's going on? So Telegram has been disclosing user IP addresses since 2018. So just know that, when they say that, we're not going to necessarily report it, that's not necessarily true. Just make sure that you do appropriate things and say appropriate things in most of the messaging apps. But according to the founder and CEO, crypto-friendly instant messenger Telegram has been disclosing IP addresses of criminals to authorities since 2018. He took to Telegram channel on October 2nd to clarify his recent posts about the disclosures of IP addresses and phone numbers of accounts found to be involved in criminal activity. And who defines what criminal activity is? I don't know, but I'd like to know. So I did have someone email in and said, hey, could you do like a little module on what, AI or ChatGPT is? And I've been that's been sitting in my inbox for a couple of days. And I have to say, there's really no way that I could do a module because things change so quickly. And it's like saying, hey, how do you use Excel? Well, what do you want to do with Excel? And the same question is, what do you want to do with ChatGPT? I would go out and experiment and see, do you want to do a picture? Are you looking to do a summary of something? Are you looking to write a legal document? It really depends on what you are wanting to do with ChatGPT. And like I said, it changes so quickly that here's an article, and this came out yesterday, and it says, what is GPT 4.0 and how is it different from GPT 3 and 3.5 and GPT 4? Well, he's missing the new one, which is 4.01. And that's what I've been experimenting with 4.01. You can't do images with 4.01. It does more of a thinking. And so this was put out, yesterday, and he's missing the latest and greatest one, which they're really, has some great advanced features. So if you're interested in AI, ChatGPT, play with it and see what you want to do with it. And, there's some great videos out there that might show you, do you want to create pictures? Do you want to create a novel? What do you want to do? And that will tell you, what avenue to go down. But here we go. AI. Hacker plants false memories in ChatGPT to steal user data in perpetuity. When a security researcher, Jonathan Reberg, recently reported a vulnerability in ChatGPT that allowed attackers to store false information and malicious instructions in a user's long-term memory settings, OpenAI closed the inquiry, labeling it as flaw as a safety issue, not a technical speaking, a security concern. So he did what all researchers do. He created a proof of concept exploit that used the vulnerabilities to exfiltrate all user input in perpetuity. OpenAI engineers took notice and issued a partial fix earlier in the month. The researcher demonstrated how he could trick ChatGPT into believing a targeted user was 102 years old, lived in the Matrix, and insisted Earth was flat, and the LLM would incorporate that information to steer all future conversations. These false memories could be planted by storing files in Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, uploading images, or browsing a site like Bing, all of which could be created by a malicious attacker. So be careful what you have and what you're believing, and just the issues that are out there, the security issues on many things. And we're going to go over this one and the article information. We're going to look at the first line of this article, and then I'm going to just bash Billy because this is just beyond crazy on some of it. But 16 trillion by 2030. That is accurate. That's what BlackRock wants. 16 trillion by 2030. BlackRock is quietly backing a radical new US dollar rival amid a Bitcoin and crypto price boom. That sounds really kind of like, wow, there's an alternative to the dollar. Well, let's dive in a little bit deeper. So if you go down into the article, basically it's saying BlackRock is creating a new stablecoin. That's great. BlackRock is taking over the financial universe, and they're putting a stablecoin together. USTB will be fully backed by BlackRock's build in partnership with Securitize, enabling a separate fiat stable product along with USDE. As the largest tokenized U.S. Treasuries fund with over 522 million in assets, Build provides USTB with a secure foundation, Securitize account posted. But that's the important part that you need to know. Everything else is just ridiculous because here comes the fear porn, and we'll just follow this trail. But up in the article, it says, now as fears are swirling, the US dollar is on the verge of total collapse. BlackRock's USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, Build, is being used to back a new stablecoin described as a key milestone in the 16 trillion by 2030 race to tokenize finance. That 16 trillion by 2030 race to tokenize is the only thing you need to listen to, because it makes you think that the verge of total collapse was talked about by BlackRock. Well, I looked at that. I'm like, is that true? That can't be. That's a big statement. And what is this, radical new U.S. dollar rival? Well, let's look at a press release. This was released in September 28th, 2024, but the press release is March 20th, 2024. And this is BlackRock launches its first tokenized fund, Build, on Ethereum network. And Build is the backing of it. You'd think that, what they said was a radical new rival to the dollar. Well, Build is just the US dollar. So the fund invests 100% of its total assets in cash, US Treasury bills, and repos, basically, allowing investors to earn yield while holding the token on the blockchain. So when you look at it that way, it's not a radical new dollar rival. A rival is something against. It's a dollar-based token, and it's not going to rival the dollar because it contains only dollars. And so then you go to the next part, and total verge of collapse. Who said that? Well, you're not going to believe it. No, it's not Bix Weir. It is our friend Peter Schiff. The US dollar index just hit a 2024 low. The last time the dollar index was trading this low was December 2023. But the dollar index is actually still a relatively high, but it looks like it's on the verge of total collapse. When this happens, you're going to see some serious shite. And here we go. Yeah, wow, 8 months. Low spells disaster. And Peter Schiff added again, selling fear like it's going out of style. The man could make you believe the sky is falling while convincing you to buy gold and shelter under it. This goes back to the first part where I still think Peter's living in 2017. He doesn't like crypto. He only likes gold. He's not keeping up with the times. If you would have bought gold back when Peter Schiff was just touting, oh, gold and crypto is a scam, well, you'd be in a worse situation. If you put your money in Bitcoin, like we all have, you'd be better off. He's still showing the same stuff. He is still in 2017 and he's not in 2024, and that's fine. I just don't listen to him like I don't listen to a lot of people anymore, like Bix Weir. Oh, silver, the JP Morgan has lost control and silver is going to skyrocket. Well, it's still around 30 bucks. So think for yourself, do your research, look at an article and see if it makes sense. And a radical new dollar, well, it's just backed by the dollar. So think critically, read critically, make decisions on your own. Don't just look at the headlines and believe what it has to say, because most of the time, all it is clickbait. So Jay, back to you.